So, you clicked on this video because business credit cards piqued your interest. You might currently be a small business owner, you might be an aspiring small business owner looking to start your first LLC, or you might know the fact that business credit cards are one of the best kept secrets in the credit card game to get more free travel as well as free monies. Or you might just thought my face looked funny. Regardless of the reasons, you are all 100% in the right place because today we're going over my definitive beginner guide on starting with business credit cards, and maybe we'll talk about my funny face. Joke's on that, because in the words of the famous Lady Gaga, I was born this way. Before we jump into the potatoes of the video, allow me to quickly introduce myself. For those of you who haven't met, hi, my name's John of John's Finance Tips. Since my college days, which is now over a decade ago, I have been in the credit card game. I have opened pretty much any credit card you can imagine, from beginner credit cards to travel credit cards and plenty of business credit cards. And my objective on this channel is very simple. I want to help you to the best of my ability, either make some money, save some money, or invest some money. And today we're going to look at it through the lens of business credit cards. So this video is going to have 3 acts. In the first act, we're going to go over the benefits of having a business credit card. In the second act, I'll actually tell you what is required to apply for a business credit card. Trust me, it's not as much as you think. And in the third act, we'll actually go through a mock application so I can call out various things that you want to look out for as you're going through your first app. If that sounds like a plan, then you know the deal. Pop a squat, tap that thumb icon, and we're gonna go ahead and get going. Act 1, the benefits of getting a business credit card. The first reason, and the reason that I am most attracted to, is with business credit cards, you can get more sign-up bonuses. You can think of it as a lot of personal credit cards, such as a Chase Sapphire Preferred, or an American Express Platinum, or the Citi American Airlines credit card. All of those personal cards have a business flavor, kind of like a cousin card. So the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you have the Chase Ink Preferred. The Citi American Airlines personal card, there's a Citi American Airlines business card. The American Express Platinum, the American Express Business Platinum. And so immediately, you just now have another opportunity to get another sign-up bonus. And that's super important in the world of credit cards because sign-up bonuses are the way in which you're actually going to be able to pull off some of those crazy business class, first class, or 5-star resort travel for free. And not only are you able to quote unquote double your ability to earn a sign-up bonus, but using a sign-up bonus from a business credit card, they're usually elevated. For example, the Chase Sapphire Preferred has a sign-up bonus that can range anywhere from 60 to 80,000 points. The Chase Ink Preferred right now has a sign-up bonus of 100,000 points. Similarly, with the American Express Business Platinum, you can get a sign-up bonus that ranges anywhere from 80 to about 100-ish thousand points. With the American Express Business Platinum, it's not uncommon to find sign-up bonuses over 150,000 points. I actually myself ended up getting a sign-up bonus from the American Express Business Platinum this year at 250,000 points. And I really want to just reiterate the fact that if you are in the points and miles game to save money, to get free travel, you want as many points as quickly as possible. It's great that you can earn 1%, 2%, 5% cash back. However, to really make a splash and make a dent trying to take your family to Disney World, for example, for free, or to fly to Bali, you need sign-up bonuses. Business credit cards allow you to accelerate that. The next benefit of business credit cards is that they do not report to a personal credit bureau. So let's say you have a small business in which you're buying a ton of inventory. You go and you swipe on your personal credit cards. Let's say you have a card with a $10,000 credit limit. You buy $8,000 worth of inventory. Now, of course, you're running a business, you're gonna sell it, and you're gonna pay it back. However, for a period of time, it might look like you're using 80% of your credit limit. That's gonna wreck you. That's absolutely horrible because credit utilization, remember, accounts for 30% of your overall credit score. However, when you put the same charge on a business credit card, that doesn't actually get reported to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax on your personal side. And so even though you might have a $10,000 credit limit on business card, you might spend $8,000 of it, that's not going to impact your personal credit score. And that's super, super important. Let's say you're in a period in which you might be going for an auto loan or home loan, that you want to keep those things completely separated so that you don't get your score dragged down inadvertently. The second benefit of the fact that a business credit card doesn't report into your personal credit report is for those who are in the credit card game and you want to keep under something like, say, the Chase 524 rule. And the Chase 524 rule is an infamous rule by Chase that says if you have opened more than 5 credit cards in the past 24 months, they're going to automatically deny you. However, they look at 5 cards from your personal credit report. They can't actually see anything from the business side. And so part of the strategy when you first start out, and when I first started out, was, oh, actually, you know what? I'll open some of these personal credit cards that have great sign-up bonuses, and then I'm going all the way over to business, and therefore Chase can't see it. They won't see that, oh, I've actually opened like I don't know, 8 cards in the past 24 months, but because 8 of them were all business credit cards, it actually looks like I opened 0 credit cards in the past 24 months. Hopefully that made sense. And as a quick pro tip, some business credit cards might come with 0% interest for a period of, let's say, 12 months. And part of the way you can get a interest-free loan is you just charge off, right? You just charge off on your business credit card, you hold a really high balance over 12 months, but at the end of it, you're gonna pay it all off. And that's beneficial because if you've done it on the personal side, again, you're gonna run into the issue of, wow, you just have a $20,000 credit limit, you spent $15,000 of it, that's gonna hammer you. But if on the business side you do it, it's not gonna show up and it's not gonna hurt you, and you get an interest-free loan essentially. And the third benefit of business credit cards is that they allow you to start building business credit. Same way that we build personal credit by opening a credit card, you do the same thing for your business. Because if you are a small business owner that wants to scale your business, at some point you probably wanna get a loan in the name of the business. But when you first start out, because your business is new, you're gonna have to be the personal guarantee for any type of loans. And that's a good thing to call out right now, that for all business credit cards, you still personally are gonna guarantee the loan. But by building your credit score, specifically your business credit score, at some point you hope that's gonna be strong enough and so you can get a loan in the name of your business, not you individually. Act 2, requirements to applying for a business credit card. So the first thing you're probably thinking is you're gonna need a business. You're gonna need some formal business, a corporation, an LLC, all that hoo-ha. The answer is you really don't. In fact, to apply for a business credit card, I kind of use a litmus test. Basically, have I started some sort of, let's even call it a side hustle this year with the intention of generating revenue? If so, then I can apply for a business credit card. And I know that barrier sounds so low, but that is just the fact of the matter. When I first started, I thought it was this crazy formal thing, but then when I started applying and kind of reading on forums, I realized, oh, it's actually not that at all. Now, we can save the argument of whether or not that should be the case in another video, but just know that if you have, let's say, driven for Uber, you've delivered for DoorDash, you've sold stuff online, you have done some sort of side hustle with the intent of generating revenue, and even if you don't currently have revenue today, but you will in the next 12 months, you're eligible to apply for a business credit card. And take me as a personal example. My very first business credit card I ever applied for, I used projected revenue of $3,000. I hadn't actually made any money, but I projected that I would make $3,000 in that year, and I was approved. And the reason this works is that I am considered what's called a sole proprietor. That's it. I operate as me, John, sole proprietor, but that also can be viewed as a legitimate business. You don't have to be, again, a corporation or an LLC or a partnership. No, you just operate as a sole proprietor, right? I go and flip some things on eBay, I've generated some revenue, John's operating as a sole proprietor, but that qualifies me to be a business as well. And to apply as a sole proprietor, you don't actually have to have any formal documentation. You just say, I am a sole proprietor, because at the end of the year, all the money that you make is gonna be reported on your personal tax returns anyway. I believe it's Schedule C, don't quote me on that. And so again, it's not this whole separate entity structure thing. It's just like, hey, I'm a sole proprietor, I sell things online, and yeah, tax me as such. But because you can do it so easily, then you can just as easily apply for a business credit card. Now, this next requirement is kind of optional, but you can elect for it, and that is you can go and actually apply for an EIN number, also known as an employer identification number. This is, again, nothing all that crazy. It's tied directly to your social security number. The reason why someone would actually go and apply for an EIN is, let's say you're working with vendors or you're working with customers and they need a W-9 or whatever it is, and you don't want to just send out your social security number, you can just give out your EIN, and it's a little bit more secure. But at the end of the day, the EIN is going to tie directly into your SSN. And getting an EIN is 100% free. You can do it online right now. Just go and apply for an EIN, and you can apply using that number. But again, at the end of the day, it's still going to tie to your SSN, and it's still going to tie to you. Part of the reason also people in the credit card community though might have an EIN and a social security number is, one, you can apply with both, and for some credit cards, like the Chase Ink cards, you can actually apply for a Chase Ink credit card using your social security number. And then you can apply for the same card using an EIN number. I know, it's a weird way. Now, American Express doesn't allow that and some banks don't, but that's another reason why someone would apply for an EIN number. It's not required at all, but it's just something, for me, I think of it as an extra layer of security, and it can qualify you for the same card again, which is another bonus. So to apply for an EIN, you just go to the IRS website, hit apply now, punch in information, and they send you the number. Now, you're not compelled to use it. It's just that you've applied for it, it's tied to your social, and you can use it if you like to. All right, Act 3, a mock application. So we'll pull it up for a Chase Ink card. Now, if you guys want recommendations, I've got plenty of links down below, but don't miss out. 100,000 points, Chase Ink preferred, all-time high. Regardless, we're just gonna use this as an example. So we go in, punch in normal information, yada yada, all good. And then down here where it says Social Security, understand this, with business credit cards, you are still going to be the ultimate personal guarantee. The debt is still going to be your responsibility, and that's why you need to input a social security number. Scroll down a little bit further, again, pretty generic stuff, your address. Now scrolling down a little little bit further, we've got a couple things to call out. So the first thing you're gonna see here is they're asking for your total annual income. This income is not necessarily the income from the business, it could be, but it is inclusive of everything. So let's say you have a full-time job and you're making $80,000 a year and you've got a side hustle and you make $20,000 a year from it. Well, then your total income would be $100,000. So keep that in mind, that's very, very important. And for those of you that are just starting out, you're like, hey, I don't have any income from my side hustle or my business, that's totally fine. Just put your regular income from your day job and everything else that's included in that disclosure. So now for the business specific information, you're gonna type the type of structure your business is. If you are an LLC or corporation, great, select that. But for most of you, if you haven't formally filed any sort of papers, and again, there's no requirement to, just go ahead and select sole proprietorship. After you selected sole proprietorship, you're gonna wanna select a business name. Again, if you're as a sole proprietor, you can operate as you. And so for me, John Liang, I was applying as John Liang. You don't have to have any sort of business name established. However, if you do have a DBA, so doing business as, and you do have a name for your sole proprietor and you ended up filing paperwork for that, then punch that in here. But again, it's totally not necessary at all. You can just apply with a business name as your name, assuming you are a sole proprietor. The next section that we have here is the tax ID type. So for a sole proprietor, you could just directly use your social security number, or you could use an EIN number that you previously applied for. Doesn't really matter, but for Chase, it quote unquote kind of does, because an EIN can qualify you for a card and SSN can qualify you for the same card. So you might want to keep that distinction in mind, but for other banks, it doesn't really matter too much. Going down a little bit further, we're asking to fill in for number of employees. So if it's just you, one, your phone number, your business phone number can just be your regular phone number. And then you want to just fill in information about your business. So here I'm saying the business was established in January. And for the annual business revenue, I've come to understand it, and how I filled it out sometimes is this is kind of my projected revenue if I don't have anything established. So I think, hey, I've been doing this, I've made some money in the door. I think the rest of this year, or every year, I would do $5,000. And that's totally fine. Folks, it doesn't have to be this ridiculous 50, 100, $1 million a year. Like if you're just starting out, it's totally viable to have business revenue of 3,000, 5,000, in that range. And the final one, and this one I know might trip some of you up, is kind of what category is your business in? So if you are just in some sort of services industry, you're doing some sort of consulting and you don't know where to bucket it, my recommendation is pretty much just go other. Part of the reason that that's kind of helpful is the fact that because you are a industry that you're not quite sure of, it's hard for banks to kind of benchmark you against what's already established. And so it might make it a little bit easier to get an application through. And that's, again, totally worked out for me in the time that I was applying as a sole proprietor before I had a formal S Corp established for the social media business. And once all the information is in, all you do is hit submit, and that is it. And so that wraps the video today on my definitive beginner guide for business credit cards. If you have any comments or questions, drop them down below. And I'd love to hear from folks, when did you get your first business credit card? Was it when you had an established business doing a good chunk of revenue? Or was it when you were just interested in starting a business thinking, yeah, I might project out revenue for this year at $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? Either way, love to hear from y'all. Until then, I'll catch you all on the next video. Peace!